Greetings, Dr. Dominique Reese here, owner and chief financial coach and strategist at Reese Financial Services. And I'm here with today's Tip Tuesday. I know it's Thursday, but it's Tip Tuesday. And this tip is to pool, save, and invest our money. I got so fired up after watching this week's episode of Love and Hip Hop New York, where Chrissy is now a real estate investor, and she started a real estate investment group. And I just got so stirred up in my spirit because this is something that has been on my heart as well. I've been a financial professional for over 16 years now, and there's just so much I see from so many different angles that I'm always excited about, but I always know, like, okay, that's a whole nother project, or okay, you're going to need a team for that, or okay, it's not time to launch that yet. But I am feeling very confident that now is the season to talk about this. And because the platform of Love and Hip Hop is such a national platform, I thought, you know what, everything in divine order, this is the time, because it's on your mind. It's got your attention. If you see that show, if you watch that show, if you heard about it, I am sure there's something that sparked your attention about this particular episode. But even if you haven't, it's time for us to start talking about it. So, investment groups, investment clubs, I love them. They are awesome, and I don't see enough of them for Black women. And so this tip is twofold. It's a tip for you to think about what it means to pool, save, and invest your money with other women. They may not be women you know. However, you can always start with the women you do know. And I know, I just believe as women, we tend to spend our resources together, but we don't tend to save and invest our resources together. That to me is mind-boggling. I want to change that. I want to shift that mindset that we can only spend together. I mean, imagine the behaviors that we are truly creating habits around when we only spend together. And think about what that demonstrates to the young women who are coming up after us around wealth and Black women in wealth. If we only show demonstrations of spending money together and we don't purport enough images of us saving money together, I don't think we're gonna hit the marks that we really know we can. And we have $1 trillion in spending power as Black people. So it's time for us to start realizing some of that wealth, if not all of it. And it just starts with some small changes in how we think about things. If we're never introduced to them, or we dismiss them when we are introduced to them, then they'll never take hold. So I'm going to challenge myself as a financial professional to continue to bring you concepts and understandings that you may not be familiar with, that you may not think are for you, but they are. And the more you see them, the more you hear them, the more you do them, the more they will become more of your behavior, the more they will become a habit, and then we'll be creating something new. The same way we know how to spend, like nobody's business. We don't need anybody to teach us on how to spend, but we do need teaching and training and re-education around saving, around investing, around pooling our money together. These are concepts that none of us, some of us, all of us should be exposed to, but may not have been. So ultimately, that's what this tip is about. Thank you. And I want you to share it because, again, it has to start somewhere, and it has to start with someone. And even if you never thought you had enough money to invest, we're going to change that today. If you didn't think that investment clubs were for you, we're going to change that today. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip my screen because I wrote down some concepts. I didn't want to forget them. I didn't want to get sidetracked in my thinking. This tip is all about pooling, saving, and investing our money together as Black women. Black men, you are more than welcome to join. But I'm a Black woman. I know how to reach Black women, and that's the market I love to serve. So this message is for you. Please listen as if it is you, not thinking about if it's for you. This is for you. This is you. All right, here we go. So I've got some concepts here. And with the tip being on pool, save, invest, we are going to talk about defining our why. Like, why is it important for us to want wealth, for us to want more financial resources than we have, especially when we are so conditioned to be comfortable, right? To have enough, to not be greedy. We have all these forces that really impact our ability to feel abundant at all times. So we need to define our why. Why do we want to pool our money, save our money, and invest our money? Why is that important? Then we're going to come together on one accord. Now, you might even recognize some very interesting and obvious biblical principles here, but that's because faith and finances go together, and I want to also help us understand that more and more. And it doesn't matter what your faith is. I mean, if you understand these principles, you can explore them for yourself, no matter what your faith is, and you'll see that faith and finances go together. So it's important that when we do come together, we come together on one accord. And that's why I'm calling out Black women, because we come together for everything else, right? We come together to brunch, we come together to shop, we come together to support each other as mothers, as wives, as friends. So let's come together as wealth builders. Let's come together as investors, right? So let's come together on one accord. So if we all agree that we want this and we've defined our why, and then we come together with other like-minded people, now we're on to something. The third thing we need to do is to get disciplined. And the discipline is a part of the workings of the group itself. So imagine you come together, you're part of this investment group, you really don't know what to expect, but you know you want to make money. Well, there's some things we're going to have to get disciplined around. We're going to have to get disciplined around our education. We're going to have to learn what we don't know and be disciplined in that learning. We don't need to take forever to learn these concepts, because these concepts are very easy once you're introduced to them. This is just stuff that's been kept from us. And when it's talked about, we think that it's like, oh, that's not for us, or oh, that's so difficult, I can't learn that, or I'm too far behind the curve. No, no, no. We get disciplined around our education, and we'll learn exactly what we need to learn, and we're doing it together. So that's gonna create a totally different dynamic. A lot of us have learned on our own, right? A lot of us have learned because we're first generation students. We go off to college by ourselves. We're the first to do it. We start businesses. We get good jobs. We're like the first to do everything. So we do a lot alone. This education won't be alone. And then we'll have to get disciplined around our money. I'm going to come back to this, but that simply means once we decide on how much we're going to invest together, then that's what it is, and that's what it's going to be. So if you're going to struggle with, coming up with your money to invest and be a part of the group, then you may need to get more disciplined before you join the group, because in the group, it's all about discipline and being accountable for your part, because that's what makes this work. And then the time. We have to create time for what we want. And it's not always convenient. It's not always when you're in the mood. It's not always when you feel good. But if we say, hey, we're going to meet once a week or once a month, I'm going to expect you to show up. I'm going to expect that this is where you want to be based on your why. So we have to be accountable to things like our education, our money, and our time, because they're part of the discipline that's necessary to carry out something like what we want to do. And then we have to assess, monitor, and evaluate. And that's just part of the process of doing anything. Once you start something, you want to check in. You want to make sure you're doing what you said you were going to do. But then you also want to monitor, make sure that we're not straying from our objectives, that we're staying focused on the end goal. And then we evaluate. Evaluation is about what worked and what didn't. Is there something to change? So that's how you know this isn't a linear process. It's a process that we're open to changing, because we only do things that serve us. I only do things that serve me. And so I want to support that training and that understanding. We don't lock ourselves into situations that don't serve us. So evaluations are important, because if we find that a particular strategy is not working, then we're gonna switch it up. And I need you to understand that. So sometimes change is hard for people. Again, this is gonna put you to the test. So these are the elements. These are the elements of what I wanted to share with you. And if you feel like this is something that you're interested in, and again, it's very vague now, but I know it's coming together, I want you to private message me with your email address, and you can reach me at Dominique Reese on Facebook, Mastermind Money on Facebook, and Dr. Dominique Reese on Instagram. reach out to me and email me or reach out with your email, and I will add you to the growing list of women who have decided that this is what they want to do in 2020. They want to pull their money together. They want to come together with other like-minded women who are ready to create some change. Like, I'm so excited about this. You know, I watch these shows and they're like entertainment for me. I love it because I don't have to think about nothing. I laugh. It's just pure mindless work. But I was really proud of them for showcasing this aspect. You know, a black woman who we've known for several seasons of just acting a fool and being the girlfriend of, you know, a high profile celebrity rapper. But she went out and did her own thing, became a real estate investor, partnered up, and now is helping other black women do the same thing. And here's the thing about the money. I said I was going to come back to this. You know, they're a millionaires club. I'm not a millionaire yet. I don't know too many millionaires. So I don't want you to think that you have to come with a lot. This is really going to be for us everyday, hardworking, practical women who can afford like $25 a month, $100 a month. And they're like, okay, that's what I got. That's what I could give. I want to be a part of something, but I never feel like I have enough. Well, this is for you. If you feel like you don't have enough, then we want you to consider this club that we're about to create for women who are ready for this kind of shift, not only in their financial life, but in their life overall, to really commit to something beyond the humdrum in and out, day and day of our lives. We want to commit to something that's bigger, that's better, and together, because it's the collective that's going to help us get there further and faster. So, I'm going to keep this tip a little short. I know I've gone a little longer than I anticipated, but I wanted to be able to really give you something to consider. Pool, save, and invest. And it's a process in that order for a reason. Please share this with as many black women that you know, whether you think they're going to be interested or not. This is the very beginning stages. And we tend to miss out on everything because we're not in it at the beginning stages, right? On the ground level. We find out about stuff when it's already blown up, it's already popping, and it costs too much to get involved. Well, now it's ground level. I am praying on this. I'm receiving everything in divine order, and I am looking forward to serving all the women who are going to be a part of what I am building. The website is already bought, and you know what? God is awesome. I bought this website like months ago, and it's blackwomenswealth.com. How about that? I'm so happy. Blackwomenswealth.com. When it came to me, I didn't know what to do with it, but I was like, oh, let me go summon, I submit to my order. He spoke to me and I responded. I was obedient. I didn't have the vision. I didn't really know why. And here we are months later. That website will be up and running within the next few days. I'm going to start putting content up there to help everyone understand what it is that I'm building so we can build this together and get started in 2020 to pool, save, and invest our money. I appreciate you. Please share this message. Dr. Dominique Reese. Until we meet again, peace.